The story of the well-known school. The story by Emma, Jake, Lily, and Mark. The haunted classroom. In the small town of Ravensbrück, there was an old high school that had been abandoned for many years. It was a place filled with rumors and ghost stories. The most famous tale was about Room 13, a classroom that had been sealed off after a series of strange and frightening events. The story went that years ago, some students and teachers had disappeared mysteriously from Room 13. No one ever found out what happened, and the room was locked up and forgotten. Over time, people started saying that Room 13 was haunted, and no one dared to go near it. One chilly October night, 4 friends, Emma, Jake, Lily, and Mark, decided they wanted to uncover the truth about Room 13. They were brave and a bit curious, so they planned to sneak into the old school after dark. The night was clear but cold as they made their way to the school. The building looked eerie in the moonlight, its broken windows and crumbling walls adding to the sense of dread. They found a way through a side door that was slightly ajar, and they stepped into the dark, silent hallway. Their footsteps echoed as they walked down the hall, their flashlights casting long, flickering shadows on the walls. Finally, they reached Room 13. The door was old and heavy, and with a groan, it creaked open. Inside the room was covered in dust and cobwebs, with old wooden desks and chairs scattered around. It looked like no one had been there for a very long time. On the teacher's desk, they found an old leather-bound book. Its cover was dusty and the pages were yellowed with age. As Emma flipped through it, she saw that it was filled with names and dates of past students. But the last entry was different. It was written in a hurried, frantic scrawl. They come for those who dare to enter. Jake, always the daredevil, suggested they stay and see if anything happened. The others hesitated, but agreed. As the clock struck midnight, a cold breeze blew through the room, and a dense fog began to form. The temperature dropped rapidly, and an unsettling quiet fell over the room. Then they started hearing strange noises, muffled whispers, and the distant sound of children's laughter. Lily noticed a dark shape moving in the corner of the room. It slowly took form, revealing an old, ghostly figure of a teacher. The ghost's eyes were hollow and sad, and it held a faded photograph of a classroom. The photo showed a group of students, but there was one empty seat at the front of the row. The friends felt a chill run down their spines as they realized the seat was the same as the one they had been sitting in. The ghostly teacher pointed at the photograph, and the whispers grew louder, turning into mournful cries. Emma, shivering with fear, remembered something from the old book. It contained a special phrase that was supposed to calm the restless spirits. Desperate, they began to recite the words together. As they spoke the incantation, the temperature in the room began to rise, and the fog started to clear. The ghostly teacher's figure began to fade, and the mournful cries grew softer. The door to room 13 creaked open slowly. The friends rushed out, their hearts pounding. They didn't stop running until they were outside, safely away from the haunted classroom. When they looked back, they saw that the door to room 13 had closed and locked itself behind them. The building seemed to settle back into its old, silent state, as if nothing had happened. The friends never spoke of that night again. They were all too shaken by their experience. But the stories about room 13 continued to circulate in Ravensbrück. People would whisper about the haunted classroom and the ghostly teacher who still waited for someone to come inside. Every year, as October rolled around and the leaves turned to gold, the old school would be a topic of conversation, with people sharing their own stories and warnings. Room 13 remained sealed, a chilling reminder of the restless spirits and the terrifying mystery that lurked within its walls. Years later, the old school remained a chilling landmark in Ravensbrück. Rumors of flickering lights and ghostly whispers surrounded it. Room 13's legend grew, with brave explorers occasionally feeling in fear. The room stayed a haunting reminder of restless spirits and the unknown. Locals often share the stories of ghostly sightings around room 13. Despite its eerie reputation, curiosity draws the brave and the bold, who often live with tales of their own. Room 13 endures as a chilling reminder of the unknown. Its secrets is still locked away,